Hey, what's going on, guys? Rob here from Omakecast, and today I'm talking about Tokyo Ghoul Re, the first season, just to clarify. So if you're watching this video after the second season, Tokyo Ghoul Re comes out later this fall, I'm just saying that I'm talking about the first season in this video. So, Tokyo Ghoul Re is a manga that came out about 4 years ago, and at this point it's at its end. There's only 2 chapters left from the recording of this video, and also the first season of the anime just concluded today. And I definitely do enjoy Tokyo Ghoul Re as a manga, so I might be very critical over this anime series because I love the manga so much. And in fact, Tokyo Ghoul as a whole franchise is one of my favorites in the entire scope of the anime industry. I just love Tokyo Ghoul. It's one of my favorite things to talk about on the internet. It's one of my favorite things to watch and read. It's just an enjoyable franchise to experience. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to be pretty critical about Tokyo Ghoul and maybe even biased because I just really do enjoy this franchise. So I'm just going to give that warning out there. So, Tokyo Ghoul Re, a lot of people didn't expect this anime to come out. The first 2 seasons, Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 and Tokyo Ghoul Route A, had a lot of issues, especially for the manga readers who came in and bashed it. Most of the people who enjoy the Tokyo Ghoul manga dislike the anime, from what I've seen at least. But I think the first season of Tokyo Ghoul has some enjoyment in it. It's not perfect, it's very average honestly, but Route A was a disaster. It should never existed, and the fact that Tokyo Ghoul Re exists and everything was canon in it proves that Route A is just not canon anymore. It just doesn't exist. So this created a very interesting problem for anime onlys. You're basically are forced to read the manga, or the second half of Tokyo Ghoul at least. You should honestly just read the whole thing, but it forced anime watchers to have to do that. And it was very inconvenient for the fans of just the anime because there's just going to be some things that you won't understand. It might be enjoyable, but if you don't read the manga, the original Tokyo Ghoul manga, the Tokyo Ghoul Re anime will not make any sense at all because the events that happened in Route A, some events, like sure, some things in the anime of Route A actually did happen in the original Tokyo Ghoul, but still, there's some things like Kaneki joining Aogiri Tree that never happened in the manga, and that could be very confusing if you're watching Tokyo Ghoul Re and you're an anime only. So I'm just putting that out there right now if you're going into this video somehow not knowing that. Yes, the anime definitely has this very weird history where you have this canon timeline, had filler, and then you have Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is canon again, goes back to the manga, and so it's weird, it's messed up, and it's very unfortunate for Tokyo Ghoul fans because the anime is just, it's a mess of a series. But today I'm only going to be talking about Tokyo Ghoul Re as a series of a whole. I'm not going to look back at Tokyo Ghoul or Tokyo Ghoul Route A. So, Tokyo Ghoul Re. Going into this, I watched the first episode and I was very confused. I was very confused that why the anime looked strange. Like, the anime didn't look like the original. And I researched into it, and they have a new character design and a new director, so maybe that has to do with it. But the whole anime looks just off. I don't know if it's just me. It's just like the artwork looks significantly worse from the first 2 seasons, and the animation as well is not the same. It's not as crisp or fluid as the original anime series, and that's disappointing because I thought one thing that the first 2 seasons did right was the fight animations, and that's something that could be very questionable in this Tokyo Ghoul Re. That's probably the main issue with this anime, is its art and animation. And honestly, if you are a anime only and you're going into this, which you shouldn't be doing, that's probably going to turn you off from this show. And it's very unfortunate because that's a circumstance, but that is definitely the main issue with the show. But honestly, I'm glad that this anime went and covered basically everything that the Tokyo Ghoul manga had to offer, at least in its first 2 arcs, that being the Auction Raid arc and the Rosewald Extermination arc. Those 2 arcs, completely everything was basically shown, everything important at least was shown. They did cut quite a few things out, but it wasn't like the most necessary thing to have in the anime, you know, they obviously you're gonna have to make quite a bit of cuts in order to fit 57 chapters in 12 episodes. But I think the pacing, sure, it was fast and definitely very strange. The auction arc's pacing was a little off to me. That was the beginning of the whole show. Actually, is not its best point. I think when it's about the halfway point, it gets a lot better and is very enjoyable at that point. But the art and animation never really got better, except for the last episode. But yeah, I think the middle of the series is definitely the strongest point when you're shifting from the auction raid into the Rosewald arc. That whole period and going forward, I thought was great. I didn't really have any problems with it. But the auction raid arc there's quite a few things cut out. There had to be some cuts like the gore and stuff, but whatever, you know, it's TV, you can't really blame them for that. The whole beginning of the show, the pacing was just off, and overall it wasn't the best, honestly. It just felt rushed, but definitely at that halfway point it did get better. And yeah, that's one better thing that this anime had over the first 2 series. It does have better pacing. Even though it covers a lot of chapters, I feel like they've covered most of the important things, and if you're a manga reader, you can definitely get some enjoyment out of this. And that's what I think this anime is for the manga readers, because really, what else is this for? It can appeal to the anime watchers, that's for sure, even though there are still some anime onlys out there, but its main appeal has to be to the manga. And that's the problem with the art and the animation, though, is because like the manga has way better art than the anime does. So really, what is the point of this anime existing? You know what I mean? Sure, I love the content and I think it was an enjoyable anime, but it didn't really need to exist because the art and the animation, the main thing that makes an anime be an anime, is not as good as the manga, and that's a huge problem with this anime, and I hope they fix that with the second core. Now, the OST for Tokyo Ghoul has always been just amazing. You know, you have some great tracks in there. You have Glassy Sky coming back in there a little bit. You have some other tracks, and it's just, the Tokyo Ghoul OST has always been good and always will be good, and it just matches the tone of Tokyo Ghoul perfectly. I even, when I'm reading the manga, sometimes turn on the anime's OST because it's just great. Tokyo Ghoul soundtrack is always amazing. The opening and endings are always great too. Tokyo Ghoul Re has a great opening. The ED is also pretty good. I like the song Half. Works really well for the show. And that's one of the benefits of the Tokyo Ghoul anime. It has this awesome soundtrack to it. So, that being said, the art and the animation is the worst part of the show. The pacing is pretty decent for the show compared to the other 2 seasons especially, and the OST is great. And because I'm a Tokyo Ghoul fan and I love Tokyo Ghoul, especially Tokyo Ghoul Re, I got a lot of enjoyment out of this show. But I think if you are looking at this video looking to get into the Tokyo Ghoul series, obviously you can't start here, you can't start with manga, you gotta go back and start with OG Tokyo Ghoul, the manga, and just read the manga to its entirety, the original and Tokyo Ghoul Re, then come back, watch the anime. You could either go back and watch the mediocre first 2 seasons and then come into season 3, or you can just watch Re. But this anime is definitely for the manga readers. That is what it's for. And like I said earlier, it's really unfortunate about the animation, and I hope they step up their game the next season. I definitely did enjoy this series, even though I'm very critical about it and sometimes biased. I probably gave it a higher score on my anime list account than I should have, but that's probably because I'm just such a big fanboy of this series. So I enjoyed talking about Tokyo Ghoul with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely go out there and read the manga for Tokyo Ghoul, and I will see you guys next time.